So today we'll do is we'll take a couple of more case studies uh, where LOD expressions are applicable. So these are like a little tricky and little complex than the ones that we earlier saw. So we will go through these as well. So for example one, what I have here is, as you can see on the screen, let me explain the data first. So let me go to the sheet. Here we have basically some industry level data which sells products to other businesses, okay, which fall under different industries. And these businesses which buy products from our main business are customers to the main business, okay. That's what we needed from this data actually. And here the visualization is something like this. Our main business will be providing discounts to majority like to promote the sales and all. They'll be giving discounts to all different of its customers in different sectors. Now here in this visualization they want to see, hey, which of those different industries have been given higher discount rates and etc., or a certain discount rate above particular threshold, something like that. Here as you can
This is
see
like a trade discount.
I'm sorry, Chetan, I didn't.
No, it's all right. So there's something called trade discounts that people give. So for example, if you take an FMCG industry, what they do is, so we'll have MRP, right? MRP is, let's say, 100 rupees for some product. Okay. So what they do is they give, let's say, at a discount of, let's say, 40 rupees to the wholesaler. Okay, so that guy in turn gives, whatever additional lesser discount obviously to retailer. So instead of 40 rupees, he will give maybe 30 rupees discount or something like that. And the 30 rupees essentially comes to the final retailer.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So 100 rupees is the MRP. So trade discount is, let's say, 40 rupees. Okay, so that goes to, so and then the wholesaler gets it at 60 rupees.
Yeah.
Okay, then the wholesaler sells it at, let's say, 70 rupees to retailer. Okay, so yeah, and so anyway, so this component is called trade discount, just for your information. I'm telling you. Or it could be other discount also. That's why I just asked what kind of discount.
Okay.
But it's
got it. Thank you, Chetan. So in this example, but we will explore just at the initial discount level only. I don't think we are going into depth at retail and different levels of discounts.
Understood.
Okay. Anyways, so we have the idea here was, let's say for example, when this is very common visualization or use case where, hey, I'll give a certain threshold, highlight everything that is above or below that threshold, right? This is common use case. But oftentimes what happens is our data is could be at more granular level than the visualization itself. Here my visualization is at a level of industry, different types of industries, and in this industry I could have multiple customers. In this industry could have multiple customers, and likewise, right? Now discount rates, we are looking the discount rates at the industry level. What happens is we are aggregating the data. Oftentimes, see, when I set the discount threshold to 0.6, 66%, only the agriculture is popping out. Whereas the total number of units that were given as a discount is very less here, right? When compared to other free units that were given in other industries. So this is kind of like, though it's popping out the threshold, it may not have the enough what we say. It doesn't matter much, because there were just very less number of units that were given at a high discount, which won't affect much to the revenue or etc. But where these even though they are given at a less rate, but since the account number of units are higher, this accounts to more drop in revenue. So to kind of see that happening, so to overview that, to incorporate that analysis as well, what we did here was, So if you can see these points here, these are something like this. Though this particular tech industry has not been reaching at the overall level, it's not being reaching the threshold that we have given. There is one particular customer inside this tech industry who is above this threshold. And likewise in transportation, there are three companies. Though overall level I'm unable to meet the I didn't cross the threshold, but there are three customers inside this transportation industry where who have exceeded my threshold value. So thereby they'll get a little more detailed view of who is what's above threshold and what's below threshold. You understood the logic, right? The idea?
Yeah.
So, yeah, got it. Nice. So we will explore like how we can get these things. It's a simple calculation using LOD's application. So this is our first step actually. So what we'll do is we'll just create the visualization and at the industry level, and we'll calculate the discount rate. So where is my discount rate? This is just the ratio of number of free units given to the total number of units in that particular industry. That will give me the discount rate. Now the whole idea is to get these points, right? Now I need to see, since my visualization is already at the industry level, okay, I want to provide the details, these points at the customer level in each of these industry. So I need to do a calculation at a customer level. So thereby what I have to do is I'll basically first find out at the customer level. If you can see the calculation, I'll just write, since my visualization is at the industry level, I'll have to use a fixed level of calculation to get my calculation at the customer detail. So for each customer, calculate the discount rate. If the discount rate is greater than the threshold, then only give those customer names. So this kind of calculation will give us all the customers in each industry who are popping out our threshold value. Now the idea here is to incorporate basically as you saw in the dashboard here, to basically get those points right up beside the bar graph, that particular bar graph, right? So what we do here is we just provide some simple calculation here, index into just some negative percentage like 0.1. So they will be aligned onto the negative side of that, because all the percentages will start from 0. So these negative values will just be concatenated to the left side of the bar chart. Now how did we get all these 3 points? This is simple table calculation. Yeah. So what I did here was for each of these index values. So if you remember, index is a table calculation helper function. So in the scope that which this index function is allocated, it will just populate the index values like 1, 2, 3, 4 serial number wise. And we arrange the scope of this index function to be calculated for the customers who are exceeding the threshold value. So if a particular industry has 10 customers who are exceeding the given threshold, this index value holds 10 serial numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All those 10 calculation points will be floated out by this index value, since it's calculated at this level. All I'm doing is I know my values are between like it will be like 1, 2, 3%, these kind of things. So I just multiplied it with the 0.001 to make it a fraction, and I just given a minus sign to make it a that's basically a negative number for visualization purposes. This calculation has no mathematical sense, just from the visualization point of view. So once I have that, since my calculation is getting done at every customer who is exceeding my threshold, I have 1 point for each and every of that customer. all I have to do now is I'll just do the dual axis here. I'll do the dual axis and all my points are aligned, and I just have to adjust the width and etc. something to get this sort of formatting. So in each of this transport industry, I'll be able to see how many of those customers who have exceeded. Also at the while having an overview details up at the industry level. Is this clear? We can move on to the next one if it's clear.
Yeah.
Right. So next, for example, what I have here is this is a market basket analysis. So to put it in simple terms, what it is basically we want to see if a particular product is purchased, what are all the other products that are frequently purchased along with this product. That sort of analysis. So if you can see here, this is again where we came back to the sample superstore data that we have, and these are the two different subcategories that we have in that. And if I click on a paper, now it will show me if I click on binders and accessories, so here the orange one indicates how each of those subcategories, like the percentage of not the percentage, but how often those particular subcategory products are purchased along with these binders and accessories. If you can see this, there is a more products that are purchased from papers category along with binders when compared to scissors, rulers, tables, etc. So this sort of analysis, and this we can again come with using LODs. So let's see how we can do that. At first, I'll have my visualization as you can see at the subcategory level, and I have few calculations that we will go through. So my first calculation is first I need to get the total number of sales, right? So and just before we get into the calculation, this sort of analysis is made possible by taking into account that how the data is structured. For if you remember the sample superstore data, it's in a way that certain product order ID can be have multiple products in it. So we are exploiting that feature of this data set to enable this market basket analysis. So when we select a certain product, we'll be able to see all the order IDs where this product has been sold, and we'll then, for those order IDs, we will be seeing in these order IDs what are the other products that were sold apart from the product that got selected. So just to so here first my goal would be to get the actual sales of each of these subcategories. So for that, what I'll do is I'll create a fixed level calculation, fixed subcategory, and give me sum of number of items. Number of items is just it's another calculation, but it will give us the number of units sold in that particular subcategory of all the different products. If you can see here, number of items is just the one, so basically it will be one in all the rows. And since my data source is at the product level, so it's basically counting number of products by taking this one. So my first calculation will give me bar of all the number of products. This one. And my next is I need to okay, let me open this one here. Here I have this calculation. Let me actually come back to this later. As I told here, from a particular selection and the highlight that happens across all other subcategories, the linking field, if you can see, is the order ID. As I told how the data is structured and all. So based on that linking only, we were able to see the all these highlighting in different subcategories. So what I mean by that is, so basically here in this calculation, if you can see, what I'm doing here is for each of the I'm using exclude LOD. That means I'm taking into account all the visualization level of detail as well. And for this particular calculation, what is my visualization level of detail? Though on the screen, as you can see, there is only subcategory here, but for this calculation, what I did was I have order ID in detail as well. Why to have order ID in detail? Because this analysis where you click on something and that has to basically highlight all the other in other subcategories of the relevant order IDs will happen using actions, and that action should work on order ID alone, because that alone is the linking field between these subcategories that give us the market basket analysis. And in order to provide that filter, we need to have order ID in the visualization, and I cannot put order ID in somewhere over here because that will disturb my visualization. Therefore, I'll just put my order ID in the detailed field here. So thereby I'll be able to use this order ID to enable that that highlighting action once this visualization is done, number one. And since my order ID is already there in the visualization, for calculation purpose here, what I have to do here is I have to take into account, hey, my visualization is for this particular calculation is at a level of subcategory and as well as order ID. Therefore, I'll exclude the order ID and get the sum of items. And so this particular exclude expression will give me sum of basically same number of products sold at each subcategory level. But yeah, this will make sense once the action is made. Why I'm having the index is equal to 1 here is basically, since my calculation is at the order ID level. Okay, so what will happen is, let me put this first. What happens here is basically in paper we could have different order IDs, right? As you can see, it's not a single bar graph here. It's the single line that you can see on each of the, as you can see on the screen, that particular line represents one single order ID. And what we are doing here is, when we are excluding the order ID, it's giving all the details here. Since my order ID is already on the detail, it's calculating at the order ID detail, all the products. Okay, in this particular order, how many products, in this particular order, how many products, and likewise. But when we exclude the order ID, what will happen? I'm sorry, not exclude. So we are taking index is equal to 1 because we don't want okay, let me explain using another visualization. It's tricky to explain. We have subcategory. We have order ID. So in this particular subcategory, we have different order IDs. Now I'll just put the number of items here. Yeah, so we have all these sort of things, right? When I remove order ID in this calculation, okay, my visualization is at this level now. When I remove my order ID, it will definitely aggregate, right? I'm sorry, it will not aggregate, it will duplicate the values. For example, where is my this one? This is just my LOD expression with the exclude. Okay, now I'll put this under text. So what's happening here is my visualization, my initial value is 1, but my the LOD expression is giving 435, 400. It's basically duplicating because my calculation is being performed at the subcategory level, but my visualization is at the order ID level. Therefore, since my visualization is at a more granular detail than my calculation, it will, as we saw earlier, it will duplicate the value, and that's what's happening here as well. It will duplicate everything in order to, and when we pull that duplicated value as sum here, what it will do is it will take this 435 sum for all these things, so which is not the value what we want. Okay, what we want is this single 435 alone. So in order to extract that single 435, we wrote this calculation, this condition here. So basically give me only the first value if index is equal to 1, and this index is calculated at this level. So what we'll do is my index will only be 1 for the first item in each of the subcategory. Therefore, I'll only extract 1 435, and likewise for all the product subcategories as well. Once I extract that 435, I'll there is no duplication, and once I'll pull that sum here, it will only be the right value. It will not be affected by the duplicate value. So since these calculations are clear, now everything is about, let's come to this percentage a little later. What I'll do is I'll just create a dashboard with those that particular view, and I'll come to actions and I'll add a filter action. Okay, yeah, and here the filter action is working. As I said, it's working on the, since we have only one sheet, it's working on the one sheet to one sheet only, and we are putting this order action to work on order ID. Okay, now that action, basically what will happen is okay, yeah. If you can recall the calculation that we saw, the blue one is coming from a fixed calculation, and my orange one is coming from the exclude calculation. Okay, exclude LOD, and I have a my action filter will be added as a dimension filter here. This is the action that I just added on the order ID. And if you can recall the Tableau order of calculation, how these three things will be put in place is, first my fixed calculation will be performed, which is the blue one. Okay, and then my filter will be executed. So basically only, and my filter is executed based on my selection. So if you don't select, my filter is not executed. So based on your selection, your filter is executed, and what your filter is doing, it's basically filtering out all the calculations after happening after that, right? And my exclude LOD calculation will work after my dimension filter, and my this orange bar is coming from exclude calculation. Thereby what's happening is, when you select a particular subcategory, my totals are already fixed because they are happening before filter. When you select it, you are triggering a filter, and that filter is basically excluding, basically making the orange bars calculate based on your selection. As here in the visualization, you can see both, everything is same. The blue bar and the orange bar is same because there is no filter here. But when you click, when the action is made, and when you click on a particular one, the orange bar is getting filtered based on your selection. And on what condition it's getting filtered, it's based on the order IDs. So it's taking all the order IDs that were in your selection and seeing how from those order IDs, how many of these different subcategories have products sold, and it's giving that count here, number of items. Total number of items here is 833, and the intersection between these order paper order IDs and telecommunication order IDs 113. And then on the right hand side is just a simple calculation of percentage of how many of this orange items and the blue items. I hope we are clear up until now. If you have any questions, please let me know. So in order to get the calculation,
quite an intricate one, Jagdish. You know?
Yes, it's little tricky.
Yeah.
Okay. So here for the calculation, what we have is we got the numbers actually. We have both the blue numbers and the orange numbers. All I have to do is basically divide them up. Some number of items, and this one is the blue number, the first field, and this is the sum number of items. And here also I have, in order to for this okay, yeah, because my action filter will filter out this one as well, my percentage as well, so it will give me only the or orange bar numbers only. So and after that, once I get that percentage, I'm just using another calculation. Okay, if my percentage is less than this thing, then only show percentage. So we are basically trying to get this effect where when we select a particular category, that particular category should not have any percentage, but rest all should have a percentage. And we have given a threshold as something which is very close to 1. Thereby it will exclude the one category that you selected and will show rest of all the subcategories. And we have used that to plot my this percentage column. So thereby my like analysis works. Yeah. So these are the two things that I have for today.